Thank you for watching this crop update for the Farm Advisory Service. Inevitably, we've moved into a period of catchy weather now that we're into harvest, and for some that rain's come as some welcome relief after extremes of heat. But as ever, it's a very mixed picture. So we've had flash flooding, blocked roads and things on the same day that silage cutting was going on without interruption in the southwest. That heavy rain has led to little bits of lodging in some of the spring barley crops. The one behind me is a typical example. And harvest is well underway now. So winter barley harvests in general seem to have been okay. And actually the heat has meant that there's relatively low moisture contents, which is helpful. It's early for the winter oilseed rape harvest, but yield reports there seem to be quite good, which is encouraging. And winter wheat and spring barley are ripening off rapidly now. And one of the issues in spring barley seems to be lots of secondary tillers. So that very dry spell followed by rain has led to secondary tillering. They are catching up, but it could make for a slightly tricky and uneven harvest. And again, we have patches of lodging in those spring barley crops. A few people are taking advantage of the very early harvest and doing some cover crops, for example, after winter barley. So that's kind of a nice addition there. And probably out there in the field, it's potatoes that are our main concern at the moment. So we have 4 confirmed cases of blight throughout the country, right from the northeast down to East Lothian, and a pending example in Ayrshire. So where you do have blight in a crop, then that early elimination of the foci is really key. So if you can, pull it out. If not, maybe some extra fungicide on those areas. And we have issues with fungicide resistance for many of our blight fungicides at the moment. So don't use any of those affected products. So that's things like fluelazanam, metalaxyls, the CAA fungicides, and oxothiopropranol. So none of those should be used where you have blight in the crop. And there are some additions there that you can use. So for example, anti-drift additives as well, which will ensure you'll get good coverage onto the crop. So really managing blight, cutting the spray intervals down as well. So you may have to come down to twice in a week at the moment until that blight outbreak is managed. That's really it in terms of actions at the moment. Possibly the use of pre-harvest glyphosate is worth a mention as well. So not universally advised, but where you have lots of secondary tillers or a lot of weeds to manage, then it can be helpful. Obviously stick to harvest intervals and don't use it where the crop is still quite moist. So it has to be below 30% moisture content. A little bit of mycotoxin issues in grain as well. So a useful reminder to just do your mycotoxin risk assessments for your winter wheats before that goes into the food chain.